Alright everyone, so welcome back to my channel. I've been planning on doing things like day in the life videos and things about what's going on in university. Now obviously with the whole situation at the moment in terms of the entire world and this country, it's pretty hard to do that because there's nothing really going on at university in terms of showing you guys. And as you know, most things are pretty much either going to be held off or not being done now or virtually. So everything I'm doing pretty much is basically what you guys could imagine me doing. So just working, watching television, getting some exercise, just pretty much now it's basically, so today we're going to be looking at what I do or how I've been working at university, and I'm going to take you through exactly what I'm doing, exactly the lectures, exactly what structure it is, so hopefully you guys get a much clearer idea of what university learning is like. I know it's very difficult to find websites, exact structure of university layouts, and having explained them and everything, hopefully it's useful, and it should also be pretty good if you're going for applications. It should give you more of a understanding of how medicine works, and as well as that in an interview, you can hopefully maybe relay this to the interviewers so they know that you've actually done your research and that you actually understand the university. So it'll be helpful in your interviews and helpful for yourselves as well. So let's get into that, but before, I've got a quick little promo from my guys down at Brainscape who have linked me up very nicely and very kindly, might I add.
So, if you guys are studying sciences or maths or languages or pretty much anything at school that requires some sort of memorization, you're probably thinking, how do I learn everything that I'm covering this year and put it into an examination to get top marks that I need to get into college, university, or whatever sort of degree you want to do? Now, this is obviously really difficult. A lot of people struggle with memorizing things, and the most important thing is memorizing things consistently throughout the year. Things that you covered in January are probably going to be easier to remember in March than things that you covered in October. So how exactly do you memorize these things? Now, there are two different things that you need to know. A, active learning, and B, spaced repetition. Now, these are two key tools that you may have heard of before. Buzzwords in videos, which say how to revise or how to get this, that, and the other in tests. But what exactly are they? Active revision learning and spaced repetition are two techniques that are commonly used and referred to in order to memorize large amounts of information and data in very simple ways, in order to get accurate performances in end of year examinations or tests. Now, how exactly can you do this? Flashcards are a fantastic way of achieving active revision learning and spaced repetition. But unfortunately, paper flashcards just aren't cutting it anymore. With the amount of data that you have to revise, these sort of hard paper flashcards, A, take loads of time to write out, and B, can get lost in places, and frankly, it's not very nice looking at reams and reams of flashcards, which you then have to organise into things that you've learned, and organise into topics, and they just don't cut it anymore. So, if you guys want a more effective way of learning with flashcards, may I introduce you to Brainscape, the new active learning associated flashcard website, which covers pretty much everything that I've spoken about and everything that you'll ever hear in a revision video. Now, if you're wondering what exactly Brainscape is, it's very simple. It's a website that basically has online flashcards which you can edit and create to tailor to your own specification or syllabus. It also has decks that have been previously created from other people using the website. So for example, if someone at your school or university has covered the same subject as you, you can link up with their flashcards and use them, which cuts you pretty much weeks of preparing flashcards, weeks and weeks of preparing flashcards, which means that you can get straight into revising. However, it's really easy to create flashcards if you haven't done so already, or if nobody in your college or university has any. The way to do this is simply going onto a flashcard, clicking on the front, typing in what you need to know, and on the back writing the answer, just as you would with a paper flashcard. But what's easier with Brainscape? Brainscape utilises spaced repetition by setting a scale of 1 to 5 in terms of how well you know this flashcard. By clicking on it, it uses its formulaic algorithms, which are based off artificial intelligence, to help you really revise hard, to help you specifically learn things that you don't know well, and to make sure that you basically can learn at your own pace. Now, what's incredible about this app is that it's very easy to use. What it does is it sets out cards in orders What it does is it gives you cards in its own algorithm, in its own formulated order. So for example, if I've set a couple of cards to difficulty 5, so for example, if I don't know a set of cards and I know another set of cards, the ones I don't know, I'll click number 1, and the ones I do, I'll click 4 or 5. Now, what's brilliant about this is, so for example, if I've come across a flashcard that I don't know too well, I'll click maybe number 3 on it. That flashcard will then be given to me when I'm studying a lot more than a flashcard which I put, for example, as a number 4 or a number 5. Simply because that flashcard has been picked up and has been highlighted. In the same way, it will tailor the frequency of a flashcard given to me based on the difficulty I've selected for it. Brainscape Pro, however, is the paid version of Brainscape and is the one I highly recommend getting. While Brainscape free version achieves some of this, it only gets you so far, and I would really recommend upgrading to Brainscape Pro because it's not that much of a cost and it's a far better alternative to using paper flashcards or even writing notes. What Brainscape Pro gives you is offline access to flashcards. It also means that you can copy and edit other users' decks, and you can also do so many other sort of manipulating things with your flashcards that you can basically do in real life. As well as this, you get access to the advanced editor, which is absolutely incredible, and it goes above and beyond what paper flashcards can do. For example, you can add pictures and audio into your flashcards. So for example, if you need to learn something that you've heard in a lecture, or if you need to understand how to pronounce a word, you can put the audio into a flashcard and it makes it a lot easier to learn. Brainscape Pro is the best way of learning, and it pretty much is what I'm using this year and what I will be using primarily. But obviously some of you may be struggling with the cost of it, so they've linked up with me very nicely and they've given me a little code which I'll put here. It's Akshi Kumar02, full caps, for 20% off at the checkout. So please do use that. It is very nice that they've given it to me, and it's hopefully going to be helpful for you guys at home that you get a little discount on the prices. So please go and use that Akshi Kumar02. Spread the word obviously about this discount code and make sure as many of your friends get access to it as possible.
Right, so we're back in the video. Firstly, I've got to basically look at my timetable, what I've got for today, and I'm going to quickly take you through that now.
During Freshers Week, it's pretty much just a little flashback. We went to university for about pretty much most days during the week, just to meet the lecturers, to get a feel of what we were going to be doing that year and potentially in the future. We obviously had a great time going in labs. I managed to get my hands on some things and it was pretty fun overall.
Alright, so I am currently in the kitchen. It is about 7:40, 7:50 I'd say, looking at the clocks. So I'm going to be making breakfast now. Breakfast usually is the same, apart from, some days I like to switch it up, but I'm going to stick with my usual bowl of yogurt porridge, which might sound very strange, but I like it. I'm not a big milk fan, so I opt for porridge instead, with yogurt as the main sort of base to it, and also with a cup of coffee on the side. Now, these are usually what make up my breakfast. I'll run you through quickly. You've got some golden berries over here, you've got some flaxseed toppers, you've got some golden berries over here, you've got some almond and pomegranate seeds, basically breakfast things here, and you've got some flaxseed over here. I like to throw some protein powder just to make sure I'm getting some of my daily intake, and also some yogurt, which is also infused with some protein, just so I'm getting pretty much everything I need for a good, fit, healthy day in my breakfast. So yeah.
So this is my calendar. It's pretty standard. It looks quite busy because it is really busy. We've got some guided online learning as well as some live meetings, which hopefully I can get on the video. And yeah, I pretty much look through this before I start my day.
So you've probably noticed I've got something called a TBL coming up. Now, what is Case 1 TBL? So it's sort of an online team-based sort of thing. Now what it is basically we have a group, and it's basically the group of people who we work together on team-based projects and learning like this. So I've got my own little group. Now we work together on questions, on projects, and basically anything that has TV out in it, team-based learning. Now, we've been set some CSIs, or case investigations, basically case scenario investigations. Now those are basically your typical sort of, it's basically like a GP setting where you get a patient come in online, so you get their details and a video of them, not live, it's recorded. So you get a video of them talking, what they would say in a GP appointment, and basically you have to answer questions on their diagnosis, on symptoms they're having, and it's pretty good all around. Now the Case 1 TBL is basically an examination on that topic that we've had. So our last one was on a patient who came in, a young man who was suffering from a flu/cold. Now we didn't exactly know what it was, and our job was to find out whether he had a flu or a cold. Now, we've learned a lot about, the two types of influenza, types of viruses that cause colds, and COVID-19, which obviously can't this year, but coronaviruses have been around and have caused plenty of colds in the past, so do remember that. But obviously, we've learned a lot about that in the wake of coronavirus and the pandemic that's going on. Stay safe, guys, remember to stay safe. Should have probably said that earlier, but make sure you guys are wearing masks, etc., gloves and everything. But yeah, so we've learned a lot about that, and now we've got a TBL, which is basically a set of questions that we have to do together as a team. Now, first off, we'll have 10 or 15 questions, I'm not sure. We'll have 5 to 10 questions, I'm not sure how many exactly, but we'll have a set of questions that we have to do individually, and then we'll have a set of questions that we have to do as a team. Now, those questions we attempt first will basically be the same questions we attempt as a team together. So you expect to do pretty well the second time around, because as long as one of your team knows the answers, you can pretty much get the right one down. The point of the exercise is though to work together as a team and to get answers to as many questions as you can. Now, obviously these are very important exams in the sense of your own progression, but these don't count for anything. They're called summative exams. These are formative exams. Now in Imperial College of Medicine you have formative and summative exams. Now formatives are the ones that do not count for anything, and they're the ones that happen quite a lot throughout the year. They basically gauge your own level of learning and where you are within that sort of material at that time. So it's good for your own progression. Lecturers and your tutors will monitor your progression and will check how you're doing, but they don't count for anything, so there's no worry about them. Formatives do matter because they have some sort of weighting towards your final end of years. So they are very important. They only come around so often, so you have to basically be prepared for them and be ready to take them. But yeah, they're the important ones. Now today's one, it doesn't count for anything, but it's pretty good to just sort of do it, just to gauge where you are in the course. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is.
Here, again, you treat the bacteria.
Mr. Ratchet has got E. coli in his urine. We may want to change his antibiotics. In this case, coamoxiclav.
So we finished our little group-based assessment, and it was all good fun. So the time is currently about 11:30. So I've got another thing coming up in a bit. It's a preparation or pre-reading session. Now tomorrow I've got a CSI. That's where we get a case of a patient or a few patients, and we run through the diagnoses, what's wrong with them, what we do to treat them, etc., etc. So the plan now is to probably do that. So the plan now is to actually make some lunch, eat that, and then get back to the pre-reading for tomorrow. I'll run you through that again. That's on my own, but yeah.
Right, so next up we've got some guided online learning. Now what that is basically videos that have been pre-recorded. Obviously so we've got quite a lot of that, it's 224, so we've got, you know, about a couple more hours of that to do. And they're all pre-recorded videos on a really nice online program that Imperial set up for us called Insta. And basically it's all on here. And yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's quite complicated, so I'm going to do all of that, but yeah.
It's a lot of work. It's been over an hour and I am currently struggling to continue.
Awesome, so that's the end of the video. Today what I've shown you guys is basically what I've got to do on a typical day at university, how I do it in terms of how it's run, how I'm completing the work, and also pretty much, you know, what I like to do as well as that. Just to fill you guys in, so I try and get home, get some exercise done, because obviously it's important to stay healthy, especially with COVID-19 going around. And yeah, I like to keep healthy by just getting walking, getting some runs in, you know, getting some of that cardiovascular fitness in, even if I can't head out to the gym. But yeah, it's been a pretty good video. Hopefully you guys found it useful, and if you have any other things that you want me to talk about in the future, just let me know by dropping them in the comments below or messaging me at my Instagram, which I'll put on the screen right now. Also, please do subscribe and like, it's really helpful. I really appreciate it, because as a YouTuber it pretty much defines how I run my channel. So please do like and subscribe the video, because I know a lot of you aren't subscribed but are still watching the videos, which is great. Please keep watching the videos because I hope they're useful, but just drop that subscribe, which would be really helpful as well, so you can keep up to date on the new videos that I put out. And yeah, also please do remember to use the Brainscape discount, 20% off at checkout for Brainscape Pro, Akshi Kumar02. It's a really useful resource, I definitely recommend it. I'm going to do some more videos about it later on, but yeah, please do use it. And that's the end of the video. See you in the next one.